Ever seen one of these boxy little cars bumping along a country road or even navigating a crowded city street? This is the Lada Niva, and you might be surprised to learn that this humble Russian off-roader is a true global icon. How did a car born in the Soviet Union, a place not exactly known for its automotive exports, conquer the world and build a cult following that's still going strong over 4 decades later? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the incredible story of the Lada Niva. The story begins in the early 1970s. The Soviet government put out a call to its automotive engineers. They needed a car for the people, specifically the rural people. Think farmers, foresters, and anyone living outside the main cities where paved roads were a luxury. The existing military-style off-roaders were too clunky and uncomfortable for daily use, and regular passenger cars just couldn't handle the rough terrain. They needed something new, something that combined the toughness of a 4x4 with the comfort of a regular car. It was a revolutionary idea at the time. The world hadn't really seen a mass-market, comfortable unibody off-roader yet. So the engineers at Avtovaz, the company behind the Lada brand, got to work. Led by a brilliant designer named Pyotr Prusov, the team started experimenting. Their goal was ambitious: create a vehicle with permanent four-wheel drive, independent front suspension for a smoother ride, and a unibody construction, meaning the body and frame were one single piece, just like a modern car. This was groundbreaking. Traditional off-roaders were built on a separate, heavy ladder frame, which made them strong but also rough and unwieldy on the road. The Niva was designed to be different. It was meant to be a true crossover before the term even existed. After years of development and brutal testing across the vast and unforgiving landscapes of the Soviet Union, from the Siberian wilderness to the deserts of Central Asia, the VAZ-2121, later known as the Lada Niva, was born in 1977, and it was an instant sensation. In its home country, it was exactly what people needed. It was affordable, it was tough as nails, and it could go practically anywhere. It quickly became a symbol of freedom and adventure for Soviet citizens, allowing them to explore their massive country like never before. But the Niva's ambitions didn't stop at the Soviet border. The marketing team had a clever plan. They decided to prove the Niva's mettle on the world stage. They entered it into some of the most grueling international rallies and off-road competitions, including the legendary Paris-Dakar Rally, and guess what? The little Niva, often competing against much larger and more expensive purpose-built race vehicles, performed spectacularly. It finished on the podium multiple times, shocking the automotive world. These rally successes were the ultimate marketing campaign. Suddenly, the world wasn't just seeing a quirky Soviet car. They were seeing a proven, incredibly capable off-road champion. This is when the Niva's global journey really took off. It began to be exported all over the world. In Western Europe, particularly in countries like Germany, France, and the UK, it found a ready market. People loved its no-frills, utilitarian charm. It was cheap to buy, simple to fix, and incredibly capable. It was the perfect second car for someone who needed to navigate muddy farm tracks, snowy alpine roads, or just wanted a fun, quirky vehicle for weekend adventures. It became a common sight in rural areas, a trusty workhorse that just wouldn't quit. Then there was Canada. Lada actually sold cars in Canada for a number of years, and the Niva was a big hit. In a country with harsh winters and vast wilderness, the Niva's all-wheel drive system and rugged nature made perfect sense. It was an affordable way to get a brand new 4x4, and Canadians appreciated its back-to-basics functionality. It developed a loyal following there, and you can still find dedicated clubs and enthusiasts keeping these Canadian Nivas on the road today. And it wasn't just cold climates. The Niva conquered the Southern Hemisphere too. In Australia and New Zealand, it was embraced by farmers and adventurers who needed a tough, reliable vehicle to tackle the outback and the rugged backcountry. Its light weight was a huge advantage, allowing it to float over soft sand and mud where heavier 4x4 South would get bogged down. Its simplicity meant that if something did break in the middle of nowhere, you could often fix it with a basic toolkit and a bit of ingenuity. Even in places you might not expect, like South America and across Africa, the Niva found a home. Its affordability and mechanical simplicity made it the perfect vehicle for developing nations where roads were poor and repair shops were scarce. It was a car that empowered people, giving them mobility and access in a way that more complex and expensive vehicles couldn't. It became a tool, a partner, a reliable member of the family. So, what is the secret to its enduring appeal? First, it's the simplicity. In an age of cars filled with touchscreens, complex electronics, and a million sensors, the Niva is refreshingly mechanical. The engine is a simple, robust unit that's easy to work on. There are no complicated driver aids. It's just you, the machine, and the road or lack thereof. This simplicity makes it incredibly reliable in a fundamental way. There's just less to go wrong. And when it does, you don't need a computer science degree to figure it out. Second, it's the capability. For its size and price, the Niva's off-road performance is legendary. It has a short wheelbase, great ground clearance, and that full-time four-wheel drive system with a locking center differential and a low-range transfer case. That's serious off-road hardware. It can climb steep hills, wade through water, and crawl over rocks with an agility that embarrasses many modern, much more expensive SUVs. It's a mountain goat in car form. And third, it's the character. Let's be honest, the Niva isn't a luxury car. The ride can be bouncy, it's not particularly fast, and the interior is, shall we say, functional rather than fancy. But that's all part of its charm. It has a personality that modern, sanitized cars lack. Driving a Niva is an experience. You feel connected to the mechanics of the vehicle and the terrain you're driving on. It's a car that puts a smile on your face. Not because of its refinement, but because of its plucky, can-do attitude. Amazingly, the Lada Niva, now called the Lada Niva Legend, is still in production today. And the incredible thing is, it hasn't changed all that much from the original 1977 design. Sure, it's received updates over the years, a slightly more modern engine, an updated interior, features like air conditioning, but the core DNA, the unibody construction, the suspension setup, the overall shape, it's all fundamentally the same. It is a living automotive fossil, a direct link back to a different era of car design. Today, the Niva enjoys a massive cult following around the globe. There are enthusiast clubs on every continent. Owners share tips, organize off-road expeditions, and celebrate the unique character of their cars. The aftermarket scene is huge, with countless companies offering everything from lift kits and beefier tires to engine upgrades and modern interiors. People are customizing their Nivas to be extreme off-road rock crawlers, stylish urban cruisers, and everything in between. It has become a blank canvas for automotive creativity, from a practical tool for Soviet farmers to a rally champion, and from a budget 4x4 in Europe to a beloved cult classic worldwide. The Lada Niva's journey is truly remarkable. It's a story about brilliant, forward-thinking engineering, a testament to the idea that simplicity and functionality can triumph over complexity and luxury. It proves that a car doesn't need to be the fastest, the biggest, or the most expensive to capture the hearts and minds of people around the world. It just needs to have soul, and the little Lada Niva has that in spades. So next time you see one of these boxy little legends, give it a nod of respect. You're looking at a true global icon, a car that defied expectations and drove its way into automotive history. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more stories from the world of cars. See you in the next one.